Hello. Today, I just want to give an overview of some of the things that we'll be discussing on Dr. Nellie Kangwa channel. I would love to start this by bringing an analogy and just where life started from. So we all know that you all started from your father's loins. Now, that can be likened to something, a vision, or something that starts, something that you want to begin as a business or just a life that is about to start. So when you come out as a seed, you need to know that that particular day, if you like, to know more about this in the medical books or from a medical point of view, you will understand that several seeds are released that particular time. And each of them want to be the one seed that has to fertilize the egg. So there is practically competition. So your life began with others wanting to overtake you. But it was so aligned that you're the one. Because you're watching me today because you made it. And congratulations, because you are the one who made it. But guess what happened? There's a running towards the egg. Several seeds ran towards the egg, but you are the one who overcame. But guess what happened? Immediately, the head of that seed, or I would call it the sperm, entered the ovum of the woman. Immediately, there is a protective membrane that protects what has happened, or the fertilized ovum. That's exactly what needs to happen to your life. If you've started a business venture, if you have a vision, or something that you want to do, you need to learn that when you have that light bulb moment, something has happened. You need to have a protective membrane. You cannot begin to tell everybody about what you have discovered or what it is that you want to do. Time has to come where you've got to nurture that idea and ensure that you have protected it so that it has more form and you are able to execute whatever it is that you need to execute later. But let's follow through this analogy, or just what happened. It's actually what happened to you. Whatever takes place, fertilization takes place in the upper part of the fallopian tube. And so that is where you dwell. Okay? But time comes when, this is how I like putting it, where I think this fertilized ovum looked around like, oh my God, if I stay here longer, I'm going to die. Time comes in your life when you need to look around and check out some limiting beliefs, because you are where you are today because of some of limiting belief systems. They cause you not to become the best version of you. They cause you not to reach the levels where you're supposed to reach. So when this fertilized ovum looked around the fallopian tube, says, wow, I cannot grow here. But you know what also happened? There is also some fluids that actually helped this fertilized ovum to move out of the fallopian tubes right into the uterus, because that is where life needs to start from. So what can this fluid be likened to? This fluid can be likened to tools that you begin to pick from school. You go back to school, you get some online courses, just for you to be aided into your greatness, or for you to develop that idea to another level. And that fluid carries through the fertilized ovum. Your idea needs some coaches. Your idea needs some mentors. Your idea needs people who can help you to actually move smoothly so that you can actually reach that place where it can grow and get developed. And that's exactly what you did. You did not stay in the fallopian tube. Those that remained longer, you know what happened? They are statistics. Some of them, they are called ectopic pregnancies because they lived there longer than it was intended. It's okay to have a small idea. It's okay, to kind of feel stuck. It's okay not to really, feel like you want to make it. It's all right. But you know what? It's not okay to remain there, because that idea may just suffer ectopic pregnancy. And so when this fertilized ovum moves into the uterus, guess what is going on here? For some men, you may not really appreciate what I'm talking about, but every woman has gone through this experience, especially the woman that is married and has gotten pregnant. When this fertilized ovum, it's now, for lack of Let me not get medical. Let me say it just the way it is. Let's say, call it a baby. Okay, it's not yet a baby, but let's call it that way so that you can appreciate what I'm talking about. When this baby gets into the uterus, there are several things that are there. It is dark in that place. There's waters that are covering this baby. There's no light, if you like. And so these could be likened to challenges. Every business, your life, whatever you're going through, even when you've started something, even when you've started a job or you've gone to school, there are a lot of challenges and it may actually seem very dark. And waters, are problems, troubles. It could be lack of finances. There are waters, they've covered you. But you know what? I like it when I've read the great book because it says, you know what, even if it was dark, and there was too much water, but the Spirit of the Lord was hovering. I like that book because as long as there is life to that vision, as long as there is life to that goal that you've stated, as long as there is life to that business deal that you want to undertake, let me tell you something. All challenges may be there. If anything, those challenges and those problems are the same tools that actually help the growth of this particular baby. It's the waters. It is the same darkness. It's the same, like you are trapped. It's like you're trapped in some space. You don't even know exactly what you're supposed to do. So some challenges are good because that is why you are where you are today. Some of you have become great teachers. You've become great trainers, great mentors because of the challenges that you faced in your business and today in your life. And today you've picked up all those lessons and you're able to help other people. And that is exactly what happens. So in overview, you will see that this child or this baby will live in those circumstances and those circumstances are good. But time comes when you need now, when you go back to the same analogy, time comes when this baby cannot stay in the uterus any longer. And guess what happens? First, what starts is, contractions. Some of you are in that space where you're feeling some business constructions. You are feeling some, you're feeling like you've gotten into labor and you really don't know what is going on. You are so restless. Welcome to the real world because that's exactly what needs to happen. You are feeling restless. You are online. You want to go and do that master's. You want to go back to school and so many things that you want to do. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. But guess what happens? The very first thing that takes place is that there is a separation of the waters from this baby. You've got to kick out thinking about those problems. You've got to kick out getting that fear. What if I don't make it? You have to push through because you know what? When this baby wants to come out, even the cervix cannot allow. Because the nurses will say things like, it's a tip of a finger, the cervix is not yet ready for the baby to be born. But you know what? The idea inside of you, the greatness inside of you will keep on thinning that cervix. You keep on making a way to become that which you're supposed to become or to execute that assignment. There's something that's happening. And you know what is going on? The baby uses the head. That's normal delivery. The baby uses the head to be born and to push itself out of the uterus. That place of limitation or that place of trouble or so many things that you're going through will still have to take knowledge. You've got to use your head. You've got to use your mind. And you need to separate yourself from mindset because some mindset have caused you not to think the way you're supposed to think. Your worldview, your idiosyncrasies, the environment you grew up from. Sometimes even our educational system has really contributed, especially when you're talking about issues of entrepreneurship. You'll see that those things can prevent you from, getting into that business because you were taught, go to school, get a degree, go to university, and then start working. And that's exactly what you have seen everybody doing. And so sometimes the cervix of your life may prevent you from becoming that which you're supposed to become. but you are not going to give up. Because if you never gave up in that womb, even now, you won't give up. There's so much hope. There's so much that you need to do, and you are not going to let go. So a woman doesn't give up when she's in labor because she looks at the goal. She focuses on the end. That is where I want to invite you to. I would love you to start focusing at the end of this glorious business, at the end of the time when you wear that gown, and celebrate when you finish your degree. Celebrate. That is the end I need you to fix on. That is where you need to just keep your eyes focused. So all these other troubles, the labor pains and everything that you're going through, they will eventually go and you're going to celebrate. So what is happening here is that when now the waters are kicked out, you are almost there. When now you cease to look at these waters or to look at these problems as things that are blocking you and stumbling block, and you begin to look at them as with positive eyes and appreciating those challenges, because like I told you, the problems, the challenges are the tools for the solution, or they are the tools that will make you become wealthy or become great. And you've got to appreciate something, because it is this very thing that needs to come out of you, that needs to be birthed, that needs to happen. So, this baby now has kicked out the waters. Your idea, your becoming, your business, your salvation, whichever angle that you want to look at this analogy, will soon come out when you separate yourself from what is overwhelming you. You have to separate. That's what the great book actually talks about. When, God looked at what was happening, the Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, I think from verse 9, he called out the dry land. He separated the dry land from the waters. And this dry land had so much potential that you find it in Genesis chapter 1, verse 11. There is so much potential that begins now to come out. And there is character stances that one wants to choose to become. Because when this child now pushes out of there, it's like dry land separates from the waters. And eventually, watch this. Eventually, when this baby comes out, if anything in labor ward, what you will see is that every child comes out with folded hands like this, and they look old. The very first few minutes, the baby looks odd. You start with the end from the beginning. And afterwards, the baby cries. That is the registration of your name, registration of your brand, registration of your purpose, because your voice must be heard. And so these are things that need to happen. The moment the baby cries, it releases. Every one of you was born with an inherent gift. You were born holding something. It is that something that I am here to help you uncover it. Listen, it's uncovering, because there are things that have overwhelmed it. There are things that have covered it, and you are failing to express it. You are failing to, be counted, but yet you cried. The moment you cried, and the world knew, they said it's a baby girl or it's a baby boy, whatever sex that you are, you need to know you were born holding something, and you released it, because the world is waiting to partake of that which we were born for. The French would say, the raison d'être, the reason for your being, the reason for your existence. Why were you born? What will your eulogy read like? What would they say? Born, dash, died. I call it the dash of your life. What is the dash of your life? It begins the very day they say, baby girl, it's a baby boy. The dash begins to tick. Whilst you are still alive and watching this video, I want you to know that dash of your life can be improved. And this is how I say it. That when you are born with this particular gift, when you add value to this gift, you become, it's like you add worth to it. So gift plus skill, gift plus tools, gift plus education, you add some worth to the gift. You add value to the gift. When you've added value to the gift, afterwards, now that gift, because of the value that has been added, it now brings wealth. Now it matters how you valued the gift, the value that you've added on the gift, because it has to be beyond just wealth. You've got to move into creating a legacy. That is where I would love to encourage you, because when now you are building a legacy, you are saying you want to live beyond your tombstone. You want to exist. You want to be alive beyond your tombstone. You were not born just to die and be forgotten. Whatever it says that you do, if you add so much value to it, I like giving this example that when you look at the chicken in the fridge and potatoes that are rotting on your rack, do you know what Mr. KFC did? The same chicken, yes, your very chicken in the fridge. Mr. KFC got it, cut it nicely, packaged it, and added some value to it. Got those potatoes that are on the rack, rotting on the rack. He got them, added some value. When he added some value to that, wealth started coming, because the value now started increasing. And the more value that increased, the more wealth, was added. The more wealth that was added because of the value to the gift, it's now a legacy. Generations to generations will benefit from the first founder of Kentucky Chickens. So that's exactly what can happen to you. Each of you has something to offer. What will your eulogy read like? This is where I come in as a consultant, as a transformational leader, to help you as a mentor, as a coach. I want to help that gift. I need to help you add value to it, expertise, so that your brand can be solid, so that you're not just generic. You need to be specific to your mandate. And when this happens, you also have to understand, who are your clientele? For example, there's Galitos, there's Nando's, there's KFC, there's Hungry Lion. There's so many chickens, but they also cater for different types of clientele. That is why it's very important for you to learn how to brand your personal life, how to brand your business, how to brand what it is that you want to become. Because it's only when you do that will you be appreciated and will you be identified. Because at this point, you have now to define your clientele. Because when you are born, somebody somewhere is waiting to buy that which you came here for. Somebody somewhere has money kept for you. That is why I don't understand that you're broke. I don't understand that you don't have money, because money is in your gift, but you're playing with your gift. It is not properly defined. It's just a chicken in the fridge. It's just potatoes on the rack. Come on. We can work together, and I can help you leave a legacy here on earth. What is the dash of your life? What will your eulogy read like? It is time for us to get going, because this idea is what you are. This idea is who you are. This idea is what you need to leave here on earth as a legacy. Both male and female, you are not exempted, because each of us, we're born here on earth to live something, to live a fulfilled life. And this is where I come in. Shalom, shalom.